know that this season is a new approach for me, and I know that a lot is changing for me, but I also realize why, and the reasoning is because I needed that. You know, I needed a change, and I need a new perspective on it all because it was so repetitive. You know, I'm always struggling with a car that hasn't worked because of my knowledge as a mechanic. I'm coming from a no motorsports background, and it's just, as a program as a whole, I knew I needed a change, and I got a change. And a lot actually changed from that I didn't expect. A lot of sponsors change. I mean, it's generally noted in motorsports that it takes a lot of work to carry a relationship, you know? And that's kind of where you look up to Vaughn, or you look up to Chris, you know, you look up to those guys that they've seemed to find the avenues to carry the brands with them. When you think of Chris Forsberg, for a long time you would think of Nos. And we feel that Fortunato is going to be someone like that for us, you know, that we know we're at the ground level foundation of our program, and from here, we're just excited that the sponsors that are with us, and we're ready to get to work and prove to them why we're here. I moved from Texas to Florida after a tough season, and I really wanted to make sure that I challenged myself to try out life. You know, like, I've been drifting in Texas for so long. It was hard for me there as far as just either the outlets I was using or the way I was thinking about life. I needed a change, you know what I mean? I needed to break out of my comfort zone and get somewhere new. And I'm on the same goal, you know what I mean? Like, the same goal is in mind. It's just, with the partnership of Enjuku Racing, it was a no-brainer. Throughout the 2015 season, working with Bub and Kevin and Ant, and you know, I pretty much was living in an apartment in Dallas, and I was like, well, what's the difference from living here to living in Florida and working with the team that I was racing with? We're accounting for angle and clearance and pretty much anything that we've already learned in the past. Bub's applying his new knowledge to now. I just, obviously, you can imagine moving here and then it's winter time and then we're refreshing the cars and sponsors are coming and going, and when you see the body panels get on the car, that's the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, that's where I really feel connected to the program, and you really get that glimpse of what is to come, and we're excited for that. You don't want to have to fabricate a bar that you forgot about. So one of the easiest ways to double check yourself is to install everything. Before, you would have like 4 screws holding that entire fender on, where now we've added some brackets with quick tabs. In that case, it wasn't so much about weight as the accessibility of it. When we need it, we need to be able to get to it. So if that means, oh, Nate and Irwindale hit the front end of his car and they need to change a lower control arm, because if you could just unplug your front fender, then you can get to your top hat, you can get to your whole coilover, you can get to like everything. Today is Monday. We've been kind of sort of putting in work all week for a few weeks straight, weekends straight, yada, yada, yada. Bub and Tommy have been working really, really hard at all the small fabrication details that go into a pro car before it gets painted. So it's kind of cool to see the car in this shape, because you would assume that it's never going to come back to life. Car's on the trailer. It looks like doomsday right now, but you'd be surprised with some paint. This thing is almost ready for a final assembly, so we're in a good spot. Obviously, new suspension is going to be underneath here this year with Fortunato. We're going to run a different angle kit up front, WiseFab, and we've just really thought this one out, so we're excited. From here, we literally will take this thing, we'll drop it off, we'll get it back, and we'll put everything back together. So I know right now the car looks far, far away from being done, but it's really closer than it looks. So let's do it. Let's get this thing on the road. You ready?
Yeah.
Cool. I just haven't ever had the car that stripped down before. You know what I mean? Like back in Texas and stuff, it hasn't really seen that much attention to detail, so it made sense for me too, especially with keeping the same motor platform and kind of keeping everything progressing. It just made sense to powder coat it. All right. Hey, thank you. Yeah. You're working really hard to see a result, and taking the car to get it powder coated, it's like one of those things where you drop it off and you really want it back like ASAP, and then that is the longest week or 2 weeks time to get it back. When me and Bub went to pick the chassis up, for me personally, I know I'm about to drive this thing soon, and I know it's game time for me to be focused. And for him, I think he knows everything that he's been planning and everything he mounted and tried to double check has to work.